Did you know that everybody is operating under the influence? It's true. You and I and everybody you see is operating under the influence. Now, my understanding of this is that we're typically operating under the influence of either our highest self or what I would call source energy. Some traditions would call that spirit or God. It doesn't really matter. I'm less concerned with terminology these days, but really what's behind it. So some people are really influenced by source energy, what I like to call source energy, divine energy, or really even be in alignment with our highest self, who we truly are, beyond the trauma, the conditioning, all the beliefs we've been programmed with. There's a truest, highest essence. And when we're in alignment with that, we're under the influence of our highest self or divine energy. Okay. Now, there's other people who are influenced primarily or under the influence from their ego or their egoic states of being. And the ego it's not good or bad. It's just really the story that we have constructed of our life from our experiences, our traumas, our belief systems, and that's the ego. Okay. So the ego has a primary way of relating, and when we're under the influence of our ego, we operate and function in the world in one way. And when we're under the influence of source energy, divine energy, our highest and truest self, we operate much differently. Okay. And sometimes and it's okay, sometimes we get triggered and we go back and forth. That's the human experience, right? And we're learning how to navigate that. I believe the awakening process is when we wake up out of the ego influence and into the influence of our highest self or our divine source energy. That's when we really wake up and find our power. And obviously, as a life coach, it's what I help others move into. And it's so exciting to watch people and to see people move into that. But I want to tell you a little story. There are signs, and like I did a post not too long ago, and I listed a series of signs in which you can tell how what you're operating under the influence of. Okay, so one of the signs I talked about was if you're operating under the influence of divine source energy, your highest and truest self, you operate typically from a place of possibility and not limitation. Okay, because the ego needs, this is the thing, if you're operating under egoic influence, the ego needs a conflict. It needs a struggle. That's what keeps the ego alive. It's all often marked by a sense of limitation. Okay, a sense of limitation or powerlessness. But when you're operating under the influence of divine source energy, you are more cognizant or more aware of possibilities. Life seems limitless and possible. The egoic version of things sees limitations and conflict and opposition. So my question for you today is, what influence are you operating under? Is it the influence of divine source energy that sees limitless possibilities, or is it the egoic, conflict-ridden, drama-based sense of just limitation and obstacles? Yeah, it's something good to consider and think about. If you'd like some more information from me, go to my website, which is jamaljavanji.com. I'd like you to scroll to the bottom, put your email address in there and click submit. Or if you'd like to be a part of my free Facebook group, it's called Uprooting from the Poverty Mindset. You can just do a search for that on Facebook. You'll have to answer about 3 questions and request to join, and love to have you a part of that as well. All right, until next time.